I do not know if serendipity is real or just a clever concept. And I have no reason to believe in fate or predestiny. But the events of the last week are something I cannot explain to my own satisfaction. Everything started for me in a very bad way. My brother Dan suspended my administrator privileges from my website. The very website which I had worked so hard to build up and to care for, curating the words contained within the Book of Soren. Yes, the very book which was given to me while I traveled in Edinburgh with my two brothers. Yes, this book belongs to me, so how in the hell can I be suspended from a website of which I helped create? Luckily, I still have control of this YouTube channel, and that my brother has not wrested it from my hands yet. My anger was almost uncontrollable. Yes, it is true. I did shut down the website. But I see now that I was wrong, and that perhaps I overreacted. But who can blame me? I had been pushed almost to my very limit, and perhaps what I really needed was a vacation. A sabbatical from the curation and contemplation of this strange book. A book which I have unfortunately given to my brother. I spent a couple of days composing a letter to my brother, renouncing all my further association, including family ties to him. Yes, it was a vehement letter, but thankfully I saw the folly, the imprudence of this letter, and I destroyed it. I'm still very upset, this is true. But he is my brother, my family. Family is what we are. The Book of Soren makes this point beautifully, in that we are all connected in some inextricable way, held together by the ties of humanity. But the forces that push us apart are far stronger, it seems, and most of us never break through this thin surface. This membrane of this powerful force which pushes us all apart. Country against country, state against state, religion against religion, man against man, man against woman, man against God, and finally, man against himself. This realization is powerful and transformative. Is it any wonder that I should be changed by my experience? I took down the website out of fear that other readers would fall beneath the spell cast by this book and not have the wisdom, the understanding to deal with the consequences. In truth, I did this out of compassion. My brother Dan is wise, and he is methodical in his actions. But he does not see this connection because he has not experienced it the way I have, and he has not experienced this terror, the terror of losing oneself and being unified with the universe. It would have been unbearable for me to believe for a moment that my brother is beginning to doubt my sanity, my judgment. He and I have always been honest with one another, even when it was necessary to put feelings aside. His particular grasp of musical composition is far beyond what I have learned throughout the years, and he has always been forthright in his criticism of my music. Most of the time I have been willing to take his advice, and I think my music has improved beneath his guidance. But there have been times when my stubbornness, my ferocious ego has utterly refused his well-constructed arguments. And in these instances, I've created something completely unique, subject to my own intuition, my will. Not everything can be created through logic, and sometimes through recklessness, unintended consequences can become beautiful. So now it comes out that he is disturbed by my podcasts, pointing out that they have gotten stranger and stranger as they have proceeded. Well, it was not my intention to try to make my brother uncomfortable with my podcasts. That is just what happened as they played out, and it was I that was becoming uncomfortable. His own dreams are sanguine now, and I pray that he never fall into the dark place that I crawled back from. Insanity is the new norm for the modern world today. I see it, and I live through it every day. The hatred, the anger, the fear, and rage. An almost uncontrollable rage from those who, on another day, could have been friends. The people are divided along political and cultural lines, and the divisions of available groups and constituencies is played out on television, the internet, and on the bloody streets of America. Mass hysteria, mass demonstrations, and mass hatred. These are the yields of our disintegrating culture. This strikes fear into my heart, and I fear for our future, and for the future of our children. So now, at the risk of upsetting my brother even further, for I know he will listen to this, I have another story to relate, a very strange story in truth. This happened on the night that I learned of my administrative privileges being suspended. I was so angry, so surprised by the suddenness, and hurt by the pure calculation and efficiency of my brother. I now believe that at that moment I was programming my subconscious mind for what was to happen late that night. And just as a good book uses the technique of foreshadowing, I too played a role in foreshadowing my own dream experience. This has never happened to me before now, for in truth, this was the kind of dream to which some men never emerge from again with a sober mind. Dostoevsky has written about this kind of experience, and it is his estimation that these dreams often are the precursor to insanity. But Dostoevsky would never call it insanity. Instead, he called it madness. In my dream, I was dreaming. For what else would I be doing in the middle of a dream? I felt someone touch my shoulder ever so slightly. When I opened my eyes, I saw that M was looking down at me as I slept. He had his finger to his lips, indicating that I should be quiet, not to wake up my sleeping wife. Carefully, I slipped out of bed and took up my bathrobe, and I put it on as I followed M to the living room. He turned on a light. Then he went into his coat and took out a bottle of whiskey. He pushed a cigar forward to me as he poured us both a generous dram. I would never smoke a cigar in my house. The thought would never even occur to me. But now I cut the cigar and lit it up as a great cloud of blue smoke filled the room. M pushed an ashtray across the table. "Mind your ash," he said politely, "for you are not in Scotland now." "What are you doing here?" I asked. "I am not really here," he said casually. "You are dreaming, and I am merely speaking to you through your dream." I took a long draw from my cigar and smiled. "You are not really smoking either," he announced. "You are sleeping, and the smoke is only helping you to think. That is why I have given it to you." "Am I going mad?" I asked him. "You have always been mad," he replied. "Madness is simply a state of mind. Madness is a thing. It has been invented by the mind and by those that are in control of the mind. The mind can be corrupted, and it is from the corruption of the mind that madness is created. The true seat of consciousness is not in the mind, however. It is in the heart, and that is why the soul is so hard to feel. It has been understood through the corruption of the mind. The mind of men belongs to men, but the soul exists beyond the mind of men. The words inside the Book of Soren are coded in the mask of madness, and that is why they are misunderstood. They are counterintuitive, and just as one would thaw frozen meat in cold water instead of warm, the lessons of the soul are visceral and not made of the stuff of the mind. Madness hides the truth from the beauty of the heart from those that would seek to corrupt it. The truth is often disguised as madness, and that it should penetrate deeper. Must the truth then be hidden? I asked. The time is near when the truth may be known, he said. You will know when this time comes, because I will teach you, just as you will then teach others. But now you must go back to bed and rest, because the time is not now. I will let myself out. I shook his hand and felt its coldness. Then I went back to my room and climbed into bed slowly. My wife opened her eyes and said, "You smell like smoke." I smiled to myself and answered, "Go back to sleep now, honey. You are dreaming." The next day I tried to understand these strange and unusual words. I had to admit that the nature of dream life was not what I thought it was. The words of them could not have come out of my mind, and therefore I had to admit that the dream world was outside of our individual consciousness. And this meant that we are constantly being influenced by phenomena outside of our control, outside of our understanding. And this also meant that madness is not what I thought it was. And perhaps this explains some of the allure I had for the literary words used to describe the form of madness that M was implying. So much of life is hidden. So much of our understanding is but a partial understanding. And most of reality is unknown, like a mathematical equation that cannot ever be proven within the mathematical structure of axiomatic logic from which it is derived. My guess is that secret societies have known much of this knowledge and have been built upon preserving this esoteric knowledge. Was I being drawn into a secret society? And further, who else knew of my connection with Melandros?